Hello everyone, George here with a what I like to call tips and tactics. Now, my previous video I said something about tips and tricks. I realized I'm not a magician. I'm a board game player and a few other things, but I'm not definitely a magician, so I cannot teach you any tricks, but hopefully I'll get across some tactics. Now, the scenario that I would like to analyze today is the Puma Prowls. It's a classic scenario. It's been redesignated to T2. I never played it in the classic version of the game. It takes place in Lapel, Russia on the 28th of June 1944. And basically it's about the destruction of Army Group Center. Now, what does this scenario entail? It entails about 5 Russian tankettes with a great Russian armor leader, and another 4 Pumas, which are armored cars with a 9-1 leader. The victory conditions are you must accumulate more victory points than the other player, as well as exiting more armored fighting vehicles than the other player. And the destruction of the armored fighting vehicle counts less than exiting a vehicle. As you will note, there is no sniper activation for either player here. Okay, so Dennis proposed this scenario to me, and I said, "Oh no, it's all vehicles," and I hate scenarios that do not entail combined arms, and it's all one or the other. Actually, I don't mind all infantry, but when it's all armor, it seems to not grab me well. However, given the victory conditions and the OB in this scenario, it's interesting. So it's interesting in the respect that the German player has to attack in order to get at least one armored fighting vehicle destroyed and then exit all his tanks to win. Whereas the Russian player can win simply by avoiding any contact with the German player and exiting off the board. Having said that, I believe we both lost as the German player and we both won as the Russian players. So basically, I decided to play solo to best portray to you, to the best of my ability, any tactics that you can deploy in this scenario in order to win. Going over the 2 ARs of what transpired between Dennis and I, maybe I'll allude to them, but I found that playing out the scenario based on my strategy would probably give you more information. So what would be my strategy? Okay, with respect to the armored cars, what I'd like to do here, well, I'll duplicate the armored cars later on, and I'll show you their attributes. With respect to the armored cars, on board 4, they do not have enough mobility, because although they have 33 movement points, they pay a total of 3 movement points per hex, 4 for grain. Bypassing open ground is prohibitive because it will be 6 movement points per hex side. So basically, if you want to take advantage of your mobility, what you have to do is enter the hexes right away, try to get onto these road hexes, and then, oops, I inadvertently sized up the board. Get onto the road hexes and get onto board 22, where you have enough roads to exploit your mobility factors, movement points. As a Russian player, right, what you want to do is the opposite. You're more mobile on this board than the German player. You enter from here. You initially enter the board with 7 movement points already expended. The best you can do on turn 1 is come up here, right? Now what I did when I played the Russian player against Dennis, I inadvertently sent 3 of my tankettes here and 2 around here. And ended up being inadvertently bait for Dennis to come and attack me. Actually, I came up to here. All right. So now what do we do? So there's a Russian player, you want to come down here, and then you can exit your forces either from the lime or gray hexes, right? Once your tankettes reach here, I calculated that your tankettes will outpace the Pumas by at least 4 hexes per turn. Great. Now, as the German player, yes, you do want to come up to the board where you have paved road, and that allows you to exploit your movement factors, but you also need to look at points of ambush along these areas here, right? Now, I was playing solitaire. I was playing the German player, and my so-called solo bot was playing the Russian player. I would have determined where the Russian leader was by random selection, so I have no idea where the Russian leader is, so I cannot target him. A bit of random selection and versus, okay, is this dice roll close enough? Do I need that modifier to get a hit on the German player? Yeah. So basically, that is it. Playing solitaire, I was going with the premise that the Russian player would come down to this board here and try to exploit his movement points to get off the board on the gray hexes down there. And as a German player, I was playing to the best of my ability to get my Pumas up into the board where they can exploit their movement factors and ambush the Russian player along their axis of advance, and then simply exit through this hex here, right? Or the yellow hexes, whichever might be the case. So let's see how that strategy transpired. First turn was very uneventful, I believe. So let's go step in through that log. I'm just getting everybody prepped up as the Russian player goes first. And we're keeping our tanks together. Already I duplicated one armored fighting vehicle, 2, and just to show info on them. And here is the Russian player entering. That's my weather roll. Nothing happened. And everybody remains concealed and in motion. For starter kit players, remember, you don't have an enemy on board. You enter the board concealed. Do not forget concealment. It is important. How important is it in this scenario? I'm not too sure. Here I am rolling again for weather. It's axis turn 1. We'll focus here. And these 2 armored fighting vehicles are there as clones just to have a reminder of the important tank info. And here we go. I believe Ruger is in tank A. Since I'm playing solo, I put the counter designation next to the leader's name, so I can remember where the armor leader is. Okay, so here's one tank going up the board, and he's now crew exposed to take advantage of the movement road rate, the special movement road rate. He reaches as far as there. I am super paranoid and keeping my turret facing the axis line of advance. Puma number 2 follows suit. Puma number 3, they're entering the board incrementally, so the tanks that are entering towards the end have less movement points. And here I am keeping everybody together. Which phase are we on? Movement phase, right. When you're playing this scenario, do not forget to remove prep fire and movements during the route phase. Otherwise, you're going to have a cluttered vassal board. So let's go on. I'm pretty satisfied with the advance so far. So this is ally turn 2. Movement. Let's see where we're going. Ah, here. We're missing the movement. So here we are. The Russian player is going for access to board 4. That's as far as that guy made it. And the other armored fighting vehicle is following suit. Of course, this mandatory bypass movement is using up 2 movement points for each armored fighting vehicle that passes through there. I'm having a lot of dexterity issues with the motion counter and the concealment counters, managing both together. And that's as far as they go. Great. Now I button them up because they're single-man turrets and they cannot fire their main armament if they are crew exposed. In the game, while playing with Dennis, I surrounded one of his Pumas here. One of my 2 armored fighting vehicles remained crew exposed. I had to go crew exposed in order to get sufficient movement factors to advance my tank. So I had no choice. Okay, axis turn 2. Did I inadvertently skip a turn? Nope, I didn't. There you go. Axis turn 2. Roll for weather. Let's see how everything else here transpires. There you go. Now look at the Puma. He already expended 3 movement points, maybe 4 to change covered arc to go here. Another 7 to get there. And now he's crew exposed. He is rolling and speeding up. Oops, and even if he wanted to, he could even exit the board in 2 turns. But no, what he'll do is go in a hull down position here, and he has sights and eyes on the first Russian tank. And of course, he's going to try and take advantage of that opportunity to fire. Let's go. Second tank tries to advance across the board, doesn't get too far, but still, he made it here. He's in vehicular bypass movement, and he has, I believe, line of sight to here, or maybe here. So we'll see if we check that line of sight or not. I don't want to wreck the log, so I'm just going to go running through the log, and then we'll check the LOSs later. Here's the second tank, and he's going to try and support his friend up here. Okay, let's move along. Oh no, he's going here. He's going here because now he also blocked off this axis of advance, and as well has line of sight to this X. So he will force the Russian player to take this southernmost edge of advance. All right, second or third, fourth Puma. They all moved. Well, I did make a line of sight check here. And I did say, oh yeah, wow, he has line of sight there. Okay, we're firing now on that tank. How much does it take us to hit that tank? It doesn't matter really, because no matter what, I need a turret hit. He's hull down. And all right, let's just do the math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 X's away. 7. So that would be probably a base 8. Let me take a look. It's 9 for the Germans, 8 for the Russians. Plus 3 because he changed his turret. Plus 1 because he's buttoned up. That gives us plus 4. Plus 2 because he's a motion target. 8 minus 6. He needs snake eyes. But I still don't think he can hit. Let's see. So are we firing APCR? APCR 5, 6 to hit. That was a turret hit. I don't know why I rolled twice. Oh. He rolled. He missed. He rolled. He got an knack. He got a knack because basically he's not held down. Okay. Okay, so we're on to Russian turn 3. And basically that previous roll was for weather. And this fellow, we're already in movement phase. Let's check the, yep, we're already in movement phase. And he basically says, hey, I'm not going to stick around and tangle with you. I'm taking off. Right, okay. He decides to take off. He's very cautious. He's advanced. He knows that this fellow has a LOS there. He's going this way. He decides to fire. But what are his chances of him firing if he's only 1 or 2 hexes in his LOS? Very low. There's the range 7. And ideally, you don't want to bring your tanks point blank with the Russian vehicles because when you look at the to-hit table, ordnance to hit, no, vehicle to kill. Okay, so we have a Russian 45L right there, 10. You bring your Puma within 0 to 1 hex, that kill number becomes an 11, right? Right, okay. Now, APCR for a 45L is only at 12. So you're basically giving almost an equivalent to an APCR 2 kill number to the Russian player by advancing your Puma's point blank fire. Yeah, you do get the -2 to hit DRM, but your APCR number is much lower. Show info. It is a N1944A4. Okay, the Russian player can more easily get a APCR because he needs a 6. So playing the German player here rather is an exercise in prudence and cunning. Otherwise, the chances of the Russian player will win are great. All right, let's move along. We're firing. He almost mouthed his gun. First shot was an APCR, so he takes a second shot. He still misses. And this fellow advances. And he's in a hull down position, and he has the beat on him. Okay. Second fellow. See, just by 1 or 2 tanks alone, we know that this road hexes are verboten, unless you want to go face to face with the German player. So the German player has succeeded in diverting the Russian axis of attack. Now, without calculating firsthand how much it would cost to move along the road here, rather than going here, obviously this move is a mistake. What you want to do is go around the woods, through the wheat fields, and join up with this fellow as much as you can. He remains in motion, changes his covered arc. Here we go. Again, we miscalculated where we're going, and we ended up here. He will try to intensify. He checks LOS, we don't have LOS, and we take the hit die roll. Or we didn't, I don't remember. Okay. And the last dude comes here, and he has eyes on him. And overall, I would say, yeah, that Russian movement during this turn was a bit haphazardous, but we have a nice box with a nice leader here. Maybe we do have a leader, maybe we don't. We'll see. Okay, so let's see where we're at. We're at the Allied movement phase. We're soon going into the Axis defensive fire phase. Axis defensive fire phase. Let's see where we're going to go. He will fire there, of course. Here. Let's see what happens there. Yep, there we go. We'll get away with the concealment. Clear LOS, range 8. Fires an 11. Pretty unlucky, no APCR. And fires a 7. Still, I don't believe I got the beat on him because this is a hull hit. He's hull down. He will fire now. So I did a free LOS check, I guess, to check for the concealment. Haha. Alright, here we go. He will intensify fire. Clear LOS, we should know better. And 7. We have Axe, but we didn't get acquisitions. And the other fellow fired. This fellow fired here. He fired here. He didn't have LOS, and he mouthed his weapon. Word of caution, I don't have the extension to right click and put the mouths right on the counter. As it may be. There you go. Hope nobody gets triggered by that. Okay. Now the Russian player is Russian player advancing fire. We just got an acquisition there. Okay. To hit the kill, he intensifies fires, but this fellow got him. Yep. Got him good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a 10 to hit, plus 4, because I'm in motion, and plus 1, because I'm buttoned up. That's a 5 to hit. Did I get a 5 to hit, or what? That's 6. Could have made a mistake there. Oh, I could have made a mistake there. Yeah. So at this point, I have 2 tanks in good order. And I believe I gave up as the German as at this point, because basically this guy was gone. He had his mouth, his main armor mouthed. Trying to repair it, if you get a 6, he's instantly recalled. And trying to take 5 Russian tanks with 2 armored cars, I didn't find that feasible. So I think that this is where it ends. This is where it ends. Now, speaking of points where you can ambush the Russian player if they choose to advance through this board and take advantage of their movement point advantage. Let's take up 2 tanks and say, if you can reach this X here and put another tank here, another armored car here. Let's remove all fire. Moves. This is a nice strategic point right there. So basically you have this area covered and you have pretty much this area covered and if the Russian player does not wish to engage you, you end up forcing them to go through this rigmarole. Right. Covering this area as well is pretty good. So making a little box defense for the German player is a strength point, as long as you don't end up like this guy. The other thing that I recommend is the Russian player simply tries to, instead of exiting through here, exit through there and have everyone raise. Or even exit half your OB from here and the other half from here, reach that road and use the road to exploit your movement. Remember, as a Russian player, you do not need to eliminate a German armored fighting vehicle unless he eliminates one of yours. And that's all I really have to say. I hope you enjoy this game and play it sometime in the near future. As always, if you have any questions and comments, please comment below. I welcome all feedback that's positive or negative, I suppose. And like and subscribe if you like the content of this channel. Take care.